released last year. And researchers found women made up just 18% of directors, writers, producers, editors, and cinematographers. In 1998, women had 17% of those jobs.
Miramar Air Show isn't for quite a while yet, but happening today, the Blue Angels will be flying over Coronado as part of a change of command ceremony at NAS North Island. The position is responsible for things including training at all Naval Aviation Commands. The ceremony is at 10 this morning, so if you're around there, you'll not only see them, but you will hear them.
Yeah, I mean, you know where would be a great place to see it? You can't, obviously, but the Coronado Bridge, like, you know, being high above, but yeah.
Don't give any ideas.
Yeah, don't
right, I know, right? Bad ideas there, but very cool and very excited to see them whenever they're flying. I do have to let you know there might be a little bit of fog as you're heading in this morning. It's patchy and it's not horrible, so it's not dense. However, there are some pockets of it in areas like Oceanside, Imperial Beach, and Chula Vista where visibility may get down to about 3 to 5 miles. So just keep that in mind as you're heading in. You may run into a pocket of it, but then you should be out of it pretty quickly. Poway's hour-by-hour forecast by 11 a.m. after the 40s we're in right now will be about 61 degrees and then 73 this afternoon. Temperatures much warmer than yesterday. In fact, Alpine and Julian are 14 and 15 degrees warmer than yesterday. We'll top off in the mid-60s along our coastline, low to mid-70s for our inland valleys, and a little breezy in our mountains. Could see gusts up to about 25 miles per hour there. This is just the beginning of our warming trend. I'll let you know how warm we're going to get as we head into our Martin Luther King Jr. weekend when I come back with your full forecast. Kalina?
Well, we still have lots of green on our traffic map this morning. We had some Caltrans work earlier that already wrapped up. And we also had a crash on the 805 at our 10 News Breaking News Tracker. Gone and seen said everything was cleared up. So that's the good news out in that area. In North County, if you're going to be traveling on the 78 this morning, heading westbound or eastbound for that matter, speeds are up 65 miles per hour between Oceanside and Escondido. And also pretty quiet right now heading into Coronado. It is about a 4-minute ride and speeds are topping off at about 47 miles per hour. So definitely not bad as you head on out towards the island there. Want to go out to our Caltrans camera so you can see what the 805 looks like this morning. It is starting to build as far as cars are concerned. You can see more on the roadway here, but still speeds are up at 65 miles per hour. Jason?
Thank you very much. Another close call at a major California airport. A plane nearly landing on a runway where another flight was about to take off.
A smash and grab robbery at one of the world's most prestigious hotels. The search now for those thieves who made off with millions.
And plus how a woman got a full refund for her dead Christmas tree in January.
It is 5:14. Taking a quick look outside. I love when it's all twinkly like
twinkly.
that. Yeah, and it's pretty clear outside and chilly. Megan's saying it is a few degrees colder this morning. Looking live from our Mount Soledad camera, and she's going to update you because you can never talk about the weekend too early.
No way. Friday Eve today. So controversial former sheriff now running for Senate is calling President Obama's birth certificate a fake.
Believe that President Obama's birth certificate is a phony.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We have the evidence. I'm not going to go into all the details.
You know, even Donald Trump now says that he believes that the president was born in this country, right?
He never said about a fake birth certificate. That's the only thing I was trying to prove. He never.
Joe Arpaio from Arizona was on CNN last night with Chris Cuomo. He just announced his run for office Tuesday. He says he wants to support President Trump. Trump pardoned Arpaio after he was convicted for defying a court order to stop racial profiling.
So a California man has died while hiking at a popular trail in Australia. Police say today he took a wrong turn and then a hiking companion just couldn't find him. A search team found him hours later. Police say he didn't have a lot of water with him and it was extremely hot. It's been quite hot in Australia these last few weeks, close to 108 degrees. They have not released the man's name or said where in California he's from. They also have not yet determined the exact cause of death.
New from overnight, a dramatic heist at a Paris hotel. Some of the robbers now on the run. This was at the Ritz Hotel in a Paris neighborhood that's one of the world's most prestigious. Now, police say 5 men burst into the hotel, smashed the jewelry cases in the shop. It's not clear if they were armed, but they did get away with more than $5 million worth of stuff. 3 robbers were caught, but 2 got away.
All right, cue the Olympic theme song. We're getting a look at what Team USA will be wearing when the athletes take the podium at next month's Winter Olympics in South Korea. The Nike outfits include some cool cargo pants, bomber jacket, a shell there. It will be cold for those outdoor medal ceremonies, so there are also gloves with touchscreen compatible fingers and thumbs, you know, so they can post those pictures of themselves without a hassle. They have to take their gloves off. If you'd like to look like a winner, Nike says the non-Olympian versions of these clothes go on sale next week.
Yeah, and are cargo pants back in again?
I think so, because you can put so much stuff in there, and then it's totally unflattering.
Yeah. So new this morning, look at this. A woman is apparently returning her Christmas tree right here to an LA area Costco store a full 10 days after Christmas. So another shopper saw this and took out his or her phone and posted it to Facebook, saying that the woman told the Costco employee she wanted to return it because it was dead. She got a full refund. Of course, Costco, known for their pretty generous return policy, the woman is now being slammed on social media for doing this. But the writer of the post says, hey, maybe she was just really hard up for cash, and so got to give her a long leash, I guess.
Beware. Does this mean next year a lot of people are going to try this?
I know, right? Because they're generous about it.
Yeah.
So.
It's just annoying to even just get it there, though. I mean,
I know.
Just throw it away.
If you're going to go to that trouble.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully it was an expensive one. She got a big refund. All right. And we're starting off with a live look over Pacific Beach. And you can see the palm trees really pretty calm right now, not waving around in the wind like we saw earlier this week. Now, if you are going to the water, I would advise waiting until this weekend because that rain, it really increases the bacteria because of the runoff. So maybe wait till this weekend. It's also pretty choppy out there still, and along with those big waves. Now, I've been watching the fog, and it's actually dropped off quite a bit as far as visibility is concerned in Oceanside, less than 2 miles there. Imperial Beach and Chula Vista about 3 to 4.5 miles. So you may run into some pockets of fog this morning. It's not widespread, and if you do run into it, you should get out of it pretty quickly. Just slow down as you're going through it. And it is a cooler start to our morning. In fact, some areas close to 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. At Campo, a mere 38 to start off our morning. 10 degrees warmer, but by no means warm in El Cajon at 48 degrees. So high pressure is going to be building over the west. That's going to bring warmer temperatures into the weekend. In fact, 10 to 20 degrees warmer than yesterday as we head into our Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. And that storm system that brought us the rain yesterday is going to be bringing very cold temperatures and active weather as it goes with, as it moves towards the northeast. There's getting thunderstorms in the southeast and a lot of snow in the northeast. So high pressure over the west is going to keep things really nice into the weekend, and then we're tracking our next storm system. That's right, we have another storm system approaching. As of right now, it's looking like it's going to arrive late next week into the weekend, but of course a lot could change between now and then, so of course we're going to be tracking any disruptive weather that could be heading our way. You don't have to worry about it for the next 7 days though. Temperatures back into the 70s along our coastline tomorrow, mid-70s this weekend, keeping it really nice into next week. Our inland neighborhoods into the 70s today after the 60s yesterday and soaring into the 80s Saturday and Sunday. For our mountain areas, temperatures will be climbing into the mid-60s starting tomorrow, and it will be occasionally breezy in our foothill and mountain areas as weak offshore winds develop tonight through Sunday. Kalina?
I've been watching a crash that popped up this morning on the 805. This is heading southbound right at the 52, and I just spoke with CHP. They said that both of the drivers were actually transported to the hospital with injuries. So far the shoulder is still blocked off out in that area, so if you're going to be traveling on the southbound 805, just a heads up as you head out the door. East County, really quiet, 65 miles per hour. That's on the 52 heading westbound right around the 125, and your drive out of the South Bay still looking pretty good as well. We have no problems to report on the 5 freeway. Same thing goes for the 54 and the 94. Now I'm tracking all of the activity out there, and I'll have an update on that crash on the 805 coming up. Virginia?
Thanks, Kalina. A plane nearly landing on a runway where another jet was taking off. What air traffic controllers noticed at the last minute, preventing a possible tragedy.
President Trump backpedaling on the Russia investigation. What he's now saying about the odds of him sitting down with the special counsel.
Skycam View, sponsored by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
New details on another close call at San Francisco's International Airport. An Aeromexico plane nearly landing on the wrong runway, headed toward a second airplane full of passengers.
Mexico 668, San Francisco Town, straight right, clear to land.
Aeromexico 668, runway 28 right, clear to land.
So the Aeromexico plane did get the all clear to land Tuesday, but when the plane was about a mile out, air traffic controllers say they noticed it was lined up on the wrong runway. They were able to help that plane get lined up and land correctly. The FAA is investigating now. This is the second close call at SFO in recent months. In July, an Air Canada flight almost landed on a crowded taxiway.
Hey Virginia, this is just into the 10 News Live Center. Walmart employees getting raises, also bonuses due to the new tax reform bill. Take a look at this right here. Walmart employees, they're going to see pay go from $9 up to $11. The company also expanding parental leave benefits and issuing bonuses to employees who have been there for 20 years or more. They're each going to get $1,000. Now, the CEO of Walmart says that due to tax reform, they're actually able to be more competitive globally, and that allows them to make more investments here in the States. Walmart just one of several companies like JetBlue and Bank of America that are seeing the same kind of changes for employees. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Renee. So happening tonight, former Olympic figure skater Tonya Harding opening up about the infamous 1994 attack on fellow figure skater Nancy Kerrigan. In the ABC News 2-hour special, Truth and Lies, the Tonya Harding story, Harding sits down to talk about how the attack has affected her life. She maintains she had no part in it. Even the attacker was later found to be hired by Harding's ex-husband. Harding says she was actually afraid.
I was scared. For your own safety? Yes. And anybody else's. I mean, this had never happened.
You can watch the full special tonight at 9, followed by 10 News at 11.
A woman shot in the middle of an East County neighborhood. We are live with the search right now for the shooter.
Will President Trump testify in the Russia investigation? His new comments that are muddying the waters.
Closer to home, Mayor Faulkner outlining his plans for 2018, the issues he's likely to focus on today.
Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Bullets flying in this East County neighborhood. A woman shot, and that shooter is still on the run.
A dangerous series of crashes in City Heights. An SUV sent crashing into a business. The suspect not getting far.
President Trump possibly changing his stance on the Russia investigation, now saying it is unlikely he will testify.
Mayor Faulkner hashing out his goals for 2018, the issues he'll likely focus on during his State of the City speech.
We are so glad you could be with us on this Thursday morning. I'm Virginia Cha.
I'm Jason Martinez. A little chillier. Grab that sweater. Can we ditch the sweaters later, though, Megan?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
Perfect day to dress in layers. It's chilly this morning. It's going to be warm this afternoon. A lot of 50s and 40s out there this morning rather than those 60s that a lot of us are starting off with the last couple of days. El Cajon, 48, the same in Fallbrook. Kearney Mesa, 52 degrees right now. And there is some fog I have to let you know about, especially in Oceanside. Visibility has dropped to less than 2 miles, and that's at the airport. So there may be some other pockets of fog out there that aren't showing up on our reporting stations. Imperial Beach and Chula Vista, about 3 to 4.5 miles of visibility. Don't have to worry about any fog downtown if that's your commute this morning. 52 degrees here. Sunrise this morning at 6:52. Along the coastline, 66 degrees this afternoon, warmer than yesterday. Significantly warmer for our inland neighborhoods, climbing into the low to mid 70s. In fact, I'll pinpoint where we're seeing a 10 to 15 degree jump in temperatures today when I come back in 8 minutes. Kalina?
Well, I'm still tracking the activity out on the roadways right now, and on the 805 it is starting to build, but luckily we are accident free. This is a northbound commute right at the 8. You can see traffic again starting to build, but speed's still up to about 65 miles per hour, so that's the good news. Want to go out to our 10 News Live traffic tracker, take a look at the 15 this morning. You're up to speed here as well, right at Friars, 68 miles per hour. Yikes, if you're going to be traveling that way, please don't speed. And if we go out to our Caltrans camera again, here's a look at your ride in Coronado. Wide open right now, just a 3-minute commute as you come off the 5 and head toward the island. So far so good on our roadways. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it. We'll have another check coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Kalina. Now to a crime alert. A gunman on the run after shooting a woman.
Yeah, it happened in a Spring Valley neighborhood that has seen a rash of shootings in recent months. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is there live. Mimi, any word on how that woman is doing now?
Yeah, Virginia, Jason, we're told she was hit by at least one bullet, but we are told she's expected to survive. She's currently in the hospital recovering right now. Deputies got here around 10:20 last night when witnesses reported hearing at least 10 gunshots here down South Bonita Street. Now, shell casings were found just scattered across the street overnight as deputies search for any clues leading them to a shooter. Now, it's unclear if the woman was specifically targeted or not. And just last week, we were here as deputies searched for another shooter. A man was killed near the neighborhood Albertsons, which is right up the street, after a fight ended with gunshots. Now, in October, an almost identical scene to the one from overnight, same exact location, a man was shot during a drive-by shooting. He survived, but his shooter did get away. Now, if anyone was here or saw anything overnight, you are asked to contact the sheriff's department. They're looking for any information to try to find the person responsible. We're live in Spring Valley. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
All right, an elderly man is recovering this morning after a car hit him on a busy street in Pacific Beach. Police say the 79-year-old man was crossing Ingram last night when he was struck outside PB United Methodist Church. There are no crosswalks in that area, and it's not well lit. The man was rushed to the hospital with a head injury, but he is expected to be okay. Police say the driver stopped and cooperated.
Police are investigating a series of car crashes in City Heights. The first one along University Avenue here sent that SUV slamming into a business. Luckily, that business was closed at the time, and the car that caused that crash kept on going, but only a few blocks later, crashing into this tree, as you see right there. This car also hit a pole, a shop door, and trash cans as well. And when it went off the road, the driver was arrested for DUI, but what a mess.
Oh. All right, so today Mayor Faulkner will be laying out his plan for next year. He is delivering the annual State of the City address today. 10 News anchor Jim Patton live downtown with some of the big topics we expect the mayor to be focusing on today. Jim?
Yeah, good morning, Virginia. One of them is going to certainly be the convention center you see behind me here, which is now the subject of a private ballot initiative to raise the TOT tax for its expansion. Mayor supports that plan, which was very similar to one that he tried to get through last year, and it would also provide money for the homeless.
Keep in mind, the mayor is in a second term. He has term limits. He'll be out in 2020. So even though most people, including me, think he's done a very good job, now when you're in your last term, you start thinking about legacy.
That, of course, political analyst John Dadian. The mayor's priorities can be seen in his fiscal year 2018 budget, which emphasizes road repairs, parks, and critical infrastructure. And given the hepatitis outbreak and the city's response, including a temporary tent city and 3 large tents currently in use, mayor's likely going to tout that as an accomplishment, though there have been critics who say that the mayor's removal of those tents a couple of years ago to pursue a more permanent housing solution may have put more people on the streets, helping create the crisis to begin with. As the mayor talks about the health of the city, look for him to talk about the challenge of growing pension payments the city has to make in the coming year, nearly $325 million in all. That is a $63 million increase over last year. The State of the City address at 6 p.m. this evening at the Old Balboa Theater on 4th Street. Reporting live downtown, Jim Patton, 10 News.
Thank you, Jim. Live look at the White House. President Trump appearing to be changing his tune on the Russia investigation. Now, he told reporters yesterday that a meeting with Special Counsel Robert Mueller is now unlikely. That's despite reports that Mueller is likely to request an interview. The president had previously said he would be willing to meet with investigators.
Would you be willing to speak under oath to give your version of those events?
100%.
President Trump also said yesterday any deal on DACA must include funding for a border wall. That adds another layer to already sensitive negotiations. Democrats would like to tie DACA to the spending bill due next week to avoid a shutdown, but Republicans are strongly against that.
Smoking of any kind is now banned on all hiking trails in Santee. The city council made that ruling last night. It was pushed by an advisory board citing safety issues like the potential for brush fires. Other groups are trying to make all 9 city parks smoke-free as well. In fact, Santee is the only city in the county that still allows smoking in parks.
5:36. Let's talk to Megan Parry after we went through so much rain and wind earlier this week. How are we looking for the rest of the week?
Our San Diego weather's back. It's going to be sunny and we're going to be seeing those warming temperatures. It's a little cool this morning, and due to that leftover rain, we are seeing some pockets of fog this morning. Oceanside has been between about 1.5 miles and 2.5 miles of visibility over the last 30 minutes or so. Imperial Beach and Chula Vista has been holding pretty steady for the last hour, about 3 to 4.5 miles. So you may run into a couple pockets of fog as you're heading in this morning. By no means is it widespread, and if you run into it, you should be out of it pretty quickly, but just slow down as you're going on through it. Temperatures will be warming quickly today, and as we track that hour by hour for Ocean Beach, 63 by 11 o'clock, 65 degrees this afternoon. And compared to yesterday, we're going to average 5 to 15 degrees warmer. Julian was in the 40s yesterday. I'm forecasting 60 today. Alpine was in the 50s yesterday, forecasting 70 this afternoon. Poway, El Cajon, La Mesa, and Chula Vista all in the 60s yesterday, climbing into the low to mid 70s this afternoon. This is just the beginning of our warming trend. I'll pinpoint how warm we're going to get into our holiday weekend when I come back in 8 minutes. Kalina?
Still really quiet out in North County as well. I've been tracking all the activity out there, and I'm telling you, it's looking pretty good today, probably because it's not raining outside. Both directions of the 5 and the 15 freeway looking good, 78 and 56 all up to speed as well. East County, very quiet, 52 heading westbound, and the 8 west this morning, both at 65 miles per hour, so you won't run into any type of backup so far. Of course, if that changes, I'll let you know. And then out to our sky cam, you can see what Coronado looks like. Pretty good right now, just a 3 to 4 minute commute as you head westbound and come over off of the 5.
Several houses on my street burning, and haven't seen a single engine company or anything.
Only on 10 News, 911 calls of homeowners as they watch the lilac fire inching closer toward their home.
How this man got severe gashes on his face while just standing in his front yard.
And a romantic ending to a high-speed chase, the last moments shared by the outlaw couple before being cuffed by police.
When news breaks in the afternoon, you'll see it on the Now San Diego at 4.
There comes a time to go.
Those words from him just into our newsroom.
We believe that, in fact, he was pushed out by his own party.
There were many Democrats here today. It looks like it could be a crowded field.
Thankfully, we had rain, but certainly it was very problematic.
Breaking news coming to you live from Paradise Hill. Get up to the minute you need it. The Now San Diego 10 News at 4.
Only on 10 News, we're hearing for the first time the frantic 911 calls from the lilac fire.
Hi, I'm in Bonzo. Where my house is, it's on fire.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
Oh my God, it's right next door to me.
So weeks later, this area in Bonzel is still charred, and the chaos and fear still a vivid memory for many of the victims of the lilac fire. The 911 calls reveal just how scary this fire was for the people who live here. At the peak of the flames, one woman that you're about to hear was at home trying to figure out if she should stay or go.
The fire is spreading on the top of the hill.
And how close to your house is it?
It's maybe 100 feet, 200 feet.
If you feel unsafe, you need to evacuate, okay?
Okay, sure.
So neighbors say they'll be patrolling the area because there is a looting problem in the area. They want to keep the looters away until everybody can rebuild.
A solemn night to the north of us where nearly 100 people lit candles to honor a young Ivy League college student. Blaze Bernstein's body was found at Borrego Park in Lake Forest yesterday. Blaze was a sophomore at the University of Pennsylvania. He disappeared last week while home on winter break. Now, his friend says he dropped Blaze off at the park just a few minutes from his parents' home. His family is remembering Blaze as a brilliant and charismatic young man.
Needless to say, our family is devastated by the news, and we, like so many of you around the world, love Blaze. And we wanted nothing more than to seek his safe return.
Investigators say they believe Blaze was murdered. So far, though, they have arrested no one. Renee?
Yeah, Virginia, more women coming forward this morning with allegations against actor James Franco. Now, this is according to a newly published LA Times article. In that article, 4 of the women were his acting students. 1 described themselves as his mentor, or him as their mentor. The alleged misconduct that occurred on set and during the filming of nude scenes. There's a lot of details involved in these new allegations. I've posted a link to that LA Times article on my 10 News Facebook page at our Nelson TV, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Renee. Today, supporters will rally for that Louisiana teacher arrested just outside a school board meeting.
Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't.
All right, so that happened after Daisha Hargrave challenged the superintendent on why he was getting a raise, but no teachers were. Today, 2 Louisiana teacher groups will gather to show their support for Hargrave. One group says Hargrave is working with a lawyer on her next step. By the way, the Lafayette Police Department says that Marshall did nothing wrong.
A deputy was hurt while trying to arrest a man thought to be a burglary suspect here. This was the area of the Alpine School District building about 4 p.m. yesterday. Kind of a confusing series of events, though. The Sheriff's Department says deputies were responding to an alarm, but when they came across a potential suspect, a struggle ensued. One deputy was treated for minor injuries. Turns out that suspect was not the burglar, but was still arrested for assaulting an officer causing injuries.
Wait till you see this man's face close up. He's in Florida and he cannot believe he survived a bear attack right outside his home. So that's Andrew Munier, and he says he was about to let his dogs out into the yard in Naples when he turned and saw a 4-foot black bear staring him down. He says he tried to run, but that's when the bear attacked.
He was standing in front of me and I tried to turn left real quick and get back in the house and caught a uppercut from a from a brown or a black bear.
Yeah, those claws, right? Munier was knocked to the ground. He managed to get inside before things could get worse, and you can see the huge gash along his face. He needed 41 stitches. Munier says he has seen bears